Alright folks, welcome to the Don's channel, and today it's time for round 1 of the 2020 AFL predictions. So first game up's on Thursday, but before we start I've got a question for you all. Bearing in mind, like, it's becoming a little like it's the apocalypse right now in the world, I've got a question. Out of all the AFL players currently, which one would you like to be stuck with in terms of surviving on a desert island? I'm going to kick this off by saying I want to be kind of stranded with Mitch Robinson, because he did get awarded last year in 2019 my medal for roughest and toughest mongrel medal, because he's one of the most fucking ferocious players in the AFL. So on that note, I reckon he'd be good for like hunting wild boar, fucking wrestling on the ground and everything. And he'd be pretty handy at catching fish with his fucking bare hands and stuff. So that'd be pretty good. Also, he seems like good fun off the footy field. I've watched some stuff with him and his brother. They've got like a gaming channel there on YouTube. His brother seems pretty mad. I mean, I've seen him drinking bottles of beer out of his shoe, which is pretty cool. I'm quite into that sort of thing. And he just seems like good fun. So in the downtime, you're going to get a laugh with him, and then when you need him for the survival stuff, he's there, rough, tough and ready. So Mitch Robinson for me. Let me know in the comments section below which player you would prefer to be stranded with if you were on a desert island. Anyway, on to the predictions. Thursday, 19th of March 2020 at the MCG. Starting off is Richmond, the holders, versus Carlton. Carlton are certainly a team that have got a lot of high hopes for this year coming up. With the sort of additions that they've made, the team that they already had, the youngsters obviously got a lot of experience last year. They looked like they had a lot of promise. They're coming up against Richmond that are absolutely sensational. And on my AFL tipping competition, I've scored this one as a Richmond win, and actually this game is the only game that you get to put your margin in by, which means what margin you think they'll win by. So for Richmond, they're going to win by at least 25 points for me. And that's the first game. That's tomorrow morning for us, tomorrow evening there at the MCG for all of you. So on to Friday then, there's one game on Friday. This is at the Marvel Stadium between the Western Bulldogs and Collingwood. Look, this is pretty much a guess at this stage. You've got to take into consideration that the quarters are going from 20 minutes game time to, was it 17 minutes they've announced because of the coronavirus, and also obviously you're going to have no fans in attendance. That's going to sort of take a little bit of the enthusiasm for the game out of it for the players. So a lot of them are going to have to kind of self-motivate themselves and not rely on the crowd giving them that extra lift that they might need when they're up against it. So it could really much go any way, a lot of these games. But on that note, I'm going to say it's a Western Bulldogs win against Collingwood. I think they improved last year. I think they've added well. It's very early on in the pre-season. A lot of people would probably say Collingwood because they feel that they're the better team, but as I say, there's not a lot to separate these two teams anyway, and I'm going to go for Bulldogs win on Friday. Saturday the 21st of March then, we have 4 games on Saturday. First up, Essendon versus Fremantle, again at the Marvel. I'm not going to go into much detail about these games because we really don't know anything about it. It's going to take a wee while to see what the up and coming young players, the rising stars and stuff, what they're going to look like in the first team. Both teams maybe not going to be too much going to separate them this year, Fremantle and Essendon. I think Essendon will be in and around top 8. I don't think Fremantle will be massively away from it. I'm going to go for an Essendon win. Okay, down at Adelaide then, South Australia, we're at Adelaide Oval for this one. Adelaide Crows versus Sydney Swans. Crows are one of the teams that everybody's predicting to be the biggest fallers, the biggest droppers in the ladder. Swans, I don't think anybody's predicting too much of movement there in the ladder for them. Probably much of a muchness as from last year to this year. I'm going to go for a Crows win here, just because of home advantage. Really not a lot else. Crows win. Okay, we're up at the Giant Stadium now for this one. Again, Saturday the 21st of March, GWS versus Geelong. Geelong for me are going to be the one of the top teams. They're going to be the biggest faller in the top 8 for me. I think they'll finish in the top 8 this year, but I think they're going to be the biggest faller. Bearing in mind they finished top of the ladder, I think they're going to fall quite far down the top 8 but still remain in it. And GWS, I don't think they're going to change too much this year overall. And I'm predicting a home win here for GWS. I think they're going to be strong. Geelong, I'm still not convinced with this team. I think they've not added as much quality as they've lost. Their team is aging, and I really don't know that much about the young guys that they've obviously signed. So I'm going to say that GWS looks stronger right now for me on paper, and I'm going for the home win. So last game on Saturday, we're up in Queensland for at the Metricon. Gold Coast Suns versus Port Adelaide. Gold Coast Suns, out of every team, had the best pre-season, didn't they? Looked really, really good. Their youngsters look good. They look like they're playing nice footy. Port Adelaide, again, this is a potential banana skin. Everybody would be expecting from last year, if you were going to say 19 defeats in a row for Gold Coast Suns. Bearing in mind all the things that are happening right now, they've had a good pre-season. It's very early on in the year anyway, and there is always potential for a slip-up just how teams get their rhythm going. And the fact that obviously there's going to be no crowd at the game, which Gold Coast Suns are pretty much used to anyway. And the fact that the quarters are shorter now because of the coronavirus. Taking all that into consideration, I'm still going with a Port Adelaide away win. I just think they're strong. I think they'll have a good year this year, Port, so Port win anyway. On to Sunday then, first game on Sunday, North Melbourne at the Marvel versus St Kilda. Probably not going to be too much between these two teams over the course of the year. I'm going to go with straight into it, North Melbourne win. No reasoning, just that's who I fancy. Second game then, Hawthorn versus the Lions at the MCG. Hawthorn are a difficult one for me to predict how they're going to be this year. I don't think they're going to climb massively. I don't think they'll fall. I think they'll be in and around top 8, 9, 10 in the ladder this year. Lions will be strong. I don't think they'll be brilliant this year, but they'll be strong. They'll still have enough to possibly get themselves top 4 or 5 for me. I'm going to go for a Lions winning this one. On to the last game then, at the Optus Stadium. We're out in Western Australia, in Perth. West Coast Eagles versus Melbourne. West Coast Eagles are my prediction for being in the top 2 in the ladder and for going into the finals footy. I don't see anything that would suggest that this is going to be anything other than a win. I don't think Melbourne have strengthened massively. I don't think West Coast Eagles are going to take long and get going either. I think they'll hit the ground running and they should get a pretty convincing win on Sunday. So that concludes the predictions. Let me know in the comment section below what you're predicting for your game, for your results. Also, join the tipping comp. I'll put a link to our tipping comp, the channel tipping comp, in the description section below if you want to check it out and join it. We've also got a super coach thing going on, which is currently full. I'm only allowed to do 18 teams. The reason being they're not letting me do a public league for that. It's only a private one, so they're only allowing me to set up an 18 team league for the super coach, so apologies for that. Also, we've got our Facebook, the Donfather's AFL group on Facebook. Join that. I'll put that in the description section below for loads of Facebook footy chat as well, going on every single day, regardless of whether or not I'm loading videos or not. You'll still get daily posts on that, just for a bit of fun. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Fire the notifications bell on, and all thumbs up and comments will help the traffic and does help YouTube push the video to a greater audience, and that is very beneficial for us folks, so I encourage you to do that. Thanks very much for watching. I am the Donfather, and I'll see you soon.